How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question. Today we're speaking with our special guest, Josh. He has taught some ESL private tutored, taught online, working in ESL schools in Australia. Josh has a unique perspective for all of this because he's also a marketing guru. So I'm going to hand it over to Josh and let him introduce himself and give you a bit of his background. Josh?
Oh, hi. Hi, Lynn. Yeah, great to be here. Basically, one of the first jobs I had was ESL teaching. And so I did that for almost a decade on the Gold Coast in Queensland. And then after that, I became really obsessed with marketing, entrepreneurship and marketing. And I studied that for another decade as well after that. I want to talk about how people can market themselves online if they're ESL teachers. So if you want to work for yourself, if you want to work at home, what can you do to build a business or do your own marketing, find clients on your own terms? Great if you want to join a school, work in a school, but I think there's not a lot of information, not a lot of crossover between marketing and ESL teaching. I think that's something that nowadays is really sought after. I think that for the way things are going, might be useful to people to talk about.
Yeah,
so I'd be really happy to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's a lot of people out there who really are interested and are very people-oriented and would love to have, or earn their living teaching, particularly online and private tutoring, because they don't have to answer to anyone. It's a lifestyle thing, but they don't have a degree. And so, they feel like, oh, can I get work? Or, and if I, yes, you can still get work with online schools without a degree if you have a TESOL certificate, but also how can I just work for myself and earn more money, tutoring and teaching online, so they need that marketing, there's a huge gap, like you said, between the two, but they actually they're symbiotic, they need each other. So Josh, if you could just tell us a little bit more about, your experience, with the study tour teaching and in Queensland, and then sort of segue into talking about how people can go ahead and find their own students and market themselves.
Yeah, for sure. You wanted me to talk about my experience. What exactly did you want me to say about? Like, what questions do you have in regards to the study tour or the?
Yeah. So with study tour, how did you find teaching students? Well, actually, how did you find work? Like, did you just apply for jobs, or how did this all eventuate?
Yeah, obviously it was pre-COVID, so there's so much work here on the Gold Coast in Australia. It's a tourist destination, so there at the time were a lot of schools open where I would just apply for jobs, and it was really common for a lot of teachers to actually be working at multiple schools because a lot of it you would have particular classes. We have particular specialization. So it wasn't uncommon for a lot of the teachers to actually be employed in several of the schools and move between them. Mm. And so you'd be working for several schools in a lot of cases, and you'd have particular classes. Yeah, so I just did that for a while. It was like I said, nearly a decade, just going from different schools, school to school, applying for jobs, going for the next one, coming back to another one that I've worked at before, and making the rounds just like most of the other teachers. And it was
and
just
how did
really
without a degree, how did you find that at the time, getting work?
I had TAA, which helped. A few of the teachers didn't have degrees, but at the time, there's a rule where I think 20 to 30% of the teachers were allowed to teach at the schools without a degree. And
I'm not sure if that's still the case.
Maybe not. But it's probably not the case anymore. But at the time, that was the case. And so I was one of the teachers that didn't have the degree. But I had TAA as well on top of that. And as long as you were studying, so I was actually studying uni at the time. I was in a degree enrolled. So that meant that I met the criteria for that. And
Yeah. And you had TESOL already.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So let's get into how things that you would recommend to people who are wanting to, like market
Well, when you say I had TESOL already, it meant I had a TESOL certificate. I had the Cert 4 in TESOL.
Yes, that's right. Yep. But when you originally started, you had the international. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So going into marketing, so we've got a new ESL teacher, no degree, really chomping at the bit to have some students to teach online. How would you recommend for someone like that to get out there and find students?
Did you say they have a TESOL certificate?
Have a TESOL certificate.
Yeah, but no degree.
But no degree, and really wanting to start their own little, teaching lessons online or privately.
Okay, so not working for anybody. This is their own
Yeah, not
online
working for
business,
anybody
basically.
else. They want to find their own work. Hi, it's Lynn here. I hope you're enjoying this episode of TESOL Talks. I just want to let you know that if you're interested in teaching English as a second language, the best way to get started is by getting your TESOL certification. And I recommend a TESOL Australia course because, well, I wrote them. I put everything that I wish I had been taught when I was first teaching into the TESOL Australia courses, along with a lot of other information and training. If you have any questions or you need someone to help you figure out a plan to create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, simply go to our website, tesolau.com. That's tesolau.com, and fill in the inquiry form to get professional advice on your goals and exact situation. Now let's get straight back to the episode.
So the most important thing to have a flow of students coming to you, or to have a flow, what people call traffic in the internet marketing business. So you need traffic, and in order to get traffic, there are two main ways. You can pay for it or you can earn it. And at the beginning, you probably don't have the money to pay for it to run ads. And ads are quite expensive, and so they're kind of hard to break even with. So they're not the best strategy for a beginner, especially if you have time on your hands. It's best for you to earn your traffic without having to pay for it. And then when you earn it, you get a couple of benefits from that because the students are actually more loyal and you get better students, you get better customers. And traffic that's earned, see, with paid traffic, if you're paying for ads, the minute you stop paying, your traffic or your flow of customers stops. Whereas when you earn it, and I'll explain what that means in a second, when you earn it, it has momentum behind it. So even if you stop doing the things that earn you that traffic, you'll still keep getting traffic for quite a while, and it builds up and builds up and builds up to get more and more and more and compounds. So the way you earn your traffic, the easiest, simplest way to earn your traffic is to actually publish in some way. And this is something nobody wants to hear, but once you start doing it, is the best thing you'll ever do. So publishing means, it can mean almost anything, but publishing basically means you're either writing a blog, right? You've got a YouTube channel, or you've got a podcast like this one, or something like that on social media. So you've picked one of the social medias modalities and you stick to it until it grows and gains momentum. And so you want to publish a show. Basically, you want to create a show that people come to you for. And a really popular way is obviously YouTube, because YouTube allows you to be visual, allows you to show video, and then you can extract the audio out of that and you can use that on, say, a podcast or something like that and extract that out of the blog. Generally, that although it's recommended that you, when you do different channels, say like YouTube or podcast, you do them individually. You don't just make one and then copy it across the rest. You do them individually, but you can do that. But a lot of people would usually like to start on YouTube. And if you don't mind kind of putting your makeup on every day and getting ready, then YouTube could be for you. Another thing to consider is which social media do you consume the most? If you consume Facebook a lot and you understand Facebook, then you would do Facebook publishing, which looks like having a group, a Facebook group. It looks like, Facebook Lives, running regular Facebook Lives, regular posts on Facebook, and then also having your own group, but also participating in other Facebook groups. So that it depends on the social media you prefer and understand, but you pick one and you publish regularly. This is going to create the traffic coming to you. This is going to create the students coming to you. That is the best thing you can do. Once you have that, you have a virtually unlimited way in which you can monetize that then. And that could look like one-on-one lessons. That could look like worksheets and books. That could look like on courses and video lessons that they study on your website, for example, something like that. But the student, you might even find a new kind of product or thing you can sell to your students when you get there, but you want to get the traffic first. You want to get that show to get a lot of people coming to you first. Then they will tell you, because the market's always changing. So they will tell you what they want from you, whether it's one-on-one lessons, group lessons, etc. You'll basically have no limit to the amount of ways you can monetize or the ideas or products you can come up with once you have the traffic coming to you.
All right. I just want to just interject for a second there, because we've only got another 10 minutes with you, and then you've got to go off for your next appointment. But in this, when you're saying about publishing on YouTube and all the rest of it, how, like, there's got to be a way to find those students, are you talking about publishing your lessons? Are you talking about little grammar points, or, what exactly are we talking about here? And where do you find the students on these types of apps?
Yeah, okay. So that's a specific strategy for a specific social media. So let's just pick YouTube, because you mentioned YouTube. So I'll give you the YouTube strategy.
Okay.
Right? Because that'll probably be the most popular one. So the YouTube strategy would look something like this. You create a show on YouTube, it'll be English lessons, English tips, how to interact with English speaking people, phrases, all that kind of stuff, little lessons, things like that. So you create videos that are like that on YouTube, videos that are helpful and fun, entertaining content. You want it to be a mix
just interject, sorry. How long should these little videos go for? You say little. Like, how many minutes would you recommend?
I would test it to find out. So try different lengths and find out. You eventually your content will be honed according to your views. So as you'll learn very quickly what works and what doesn't. A great way to figure out what works without having to reinvent the wheel is you should be subscribing to everybody else on YouTube that's just like you, doing what you're doing, but a bit ahead of you, right? Yep. And so what you do is that's another part of the strategy is you unsubscribe from everything else and just subscribe to all the people that are a bit ahead of you, that are just like you, doing lessons and things. And then you can just study the kind of videos and the content that they're doing or putting out there. And then you can emulate that. That's the best way. And then click through, go to their about page on their YouTube channel, click on their website link if they had it, scour their website, right? This is your competition, right? Scour their website and find out what are they offering. Are they offering little lesson templates? Are they offering, little booklets or little PDF downloads or whatever they're off? Have a look, and that'll give you an idea of what's working in the market, what's currently making money. But you would, for the most part, go to their channel, go to all videos, go to the videos tab, go to all videos, sort by most popular, go and have a look at their most popular videos. Then what I would probably do is go look at their most recent videos. That's going to tell you what's kind of working and what you could begin to emulate your material on. Yeah. And then another strategy to do is while they say you need to get to about 100 videos and then you won't have any income problems ever again. If you that's the common quote amongst people in the online channel. So your idea is, and you can get there pretty quickly if you publish quickly. It shouldn't take you too long. But that's no income troubles ever again. That's not to start making money. You'll start making money before that. But that is where you'll get to the point where you're pretty much That just seems to be the number that people talk about. But you'll start making money well before then, start getting clients and things well before then.
Yes.
But what you want to do is, well, I can't guarantee it. Everybody's results are different. Okay, I can't really give any guarantees or anything like that. That's just what I seem to hear from a lot of gurus in the industry. But what you want to do is a second part of the strategy is creating great content. The second part is drive to people who have your customers already, not necessarily people who are your competition, right? Because we're not here to poach people off of other people. But what we want to do is we want to subscribe to people who have the same customers that you do, but don't necessarily sell the same products you do. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to just comment on those videos. So if you want to find the most popular channels, with the most views, and get the videos that they put out that are the most, if you go to subscriptions in your YouTube list on the left, if you're on a computer, it'll show you all of the people you're subscribed to in the recent videos they just put out. You should be watching those daily.
Yeah.
You should be going through the most interesting video, watch all the way through the video, and then you should be commenting underneath of the ones that have highest views, because your comment's going to sit on top of these videos, right? Let's say if you're getting a million, let's say it's a million views, let's say they're getting a couple of thousand views a day. People scroll when they're watching videos, and they will scroll through comments. A large percentage of people will. And so if you're getting, say, 1,000 people watch it a day, you may see a couple of hundred scroll down, and then you may see about 70 or 80 people if your comment's on top, because a great comment from the heart. Really just say what you really feel. Don't be fake with commenting, and don't sell anything with your comments. Just be helpful. Right? Say something great about the channel, say something great about, if there's a question the person didn't answer, be controversial as well. That's great, because if you're being helpful, but it's controversial, that'll work really well too. So anything that's controversial, anything that's really encouraging, your comment's going to sit at the top. People are going to see that. And what happens is students, as long as your profile picture looks really professional, like you look like a teacher, they'll actually click to see who you are. Because if your comment is really insightful, they'll click and end up on your channel, and then go, oh, I might subscribe to this person. This is English lessons. This is useful to me. And I hit subscribe. And so what happens is that's 70 people a day. So if 70 people see you comment and then say, I don't know, 2 or 3 decide to, say 10 to 20 click through, and then out of 10 or 20, you got 2 or 3 subscribe, that comment is giving you 2 or 3 subscribers a day forever now. Because that video is constantly getting views every day. It's it's 1,000 views a day. So that's 2 to 5 subscriptions every day for free now, forever, just for one comment. So if you make sure you spend at least an hour a day or so commenting, putting lots of comments out there. Let's say you do 10 comments. Let's say you do 15 comments a day. These comments don't just work temporarily on YouTube. They keep working.
Right.
For as long as they're there. And so you're now building, that's how you build up your subscribers over time. Right. They just start multiplying and multiplying.
With helpful hints and things for students and
yeah, absolutely. You want your comments to really come from the heart and be authentic, but also offer really helpful, anything that's controversial or helpful. Yes. And that's going to make people click through, but don't sell anything through it. You're there just chatting and having fun with people. They click through to find out more about you. Then they do like a kind of social media stalk. They start stalking your social media in the sense that they click on your profile pic to see who the hell you are.
Yes.
And then they feel like they found you.
Yeah, the new word of mouth.
Yeah, they feel like they've found you. Yeah. You haven't gone chasing them, but you're showing up wherever they are, because you're finding the big channels that have already congregated the people you want. These channels have spent years to congregate these people. You can just come along and put a comment there for free and receive, an influx of traffic to your page. Yeah. Once you've got lots of subscriptions from your page, obviously you find ways to get them off the page and onto a website. This is something you can do a little later. Build up your channel once your channel's starting to get momentum. Get yourself a little web page. And then what you do is you put links leading to helpful things. So in the video, you'll say, hey, I've got something helpful. Go click on the link in the description. They click on that and end up on your web page, and they enter an email address to get whatever that free thing is. And then you start building your own email list of students. So then you can email that student anytime you want and say, hey, set up lessons with me, or go grab this thing, or buy something on the website. And you can give helpful hints and tips through the email as well, and build a good relationship. And then that means that you own that traffic now. That's now traffic you've earned. You've turned it into traffic you own because it's your own email list on your website. Now you can then market to them whenever you want. You don't have to pay Google. You don't have to pay Zuckerberg to send an ad to these people. you own their email address. You've got the list. You can send them an email anytime you like. Plus, anyone who's subscribed to your YouTube channel, anytime you put a video, they're going to see your video. So you're constantly in contact with them, and you constantly got an influx of people coming to your website, booking you in for lessons, buying the things on your website that you have for them.
Look, that's pretty much all the time we have today to chat, but we'll definitely get you back and we'll talk more in depth about free ways to set up your own little websites and some things with technology and marketing strategies, and also get a bit more on your experience with study tours, if you don't mind.
No, not a problem at all.
Yeah, great talking with you, Josh, and thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
No worries.